Boo! It's Halloween, and today I'm going to read One Halloween Night by Mark Tague. On Halloween, Wendell, Floyd, and Mona were walking home from school when a black cat crossed their path. "Don't pet it, Floyd!" cried Wendell. "Don't you know that black cats are bad luck?" "That's just an old wives' tale," Mona said. "Besides, what could happen?" Wendell merely shook his head. Anything can happen on Halloween. In fact, something did happen as soon as they got home. First, Wendell discovered that his mad scientist costume had turned pink in the wash. This is definitely a bad sign, he thought. Then Floyd found out that he had to take his sister, Alice, trick-or-treating with him. "Pirates don't have little sister," he complained. Worst of all, Mona's mother insisted that she go out dressed as a fairy princess. "I look ridiculous," Mona protested. "Nonsense," said her mother and handed her a magic wand. They all felt gloomy that evening as they set out trick-or-treating and hoped that no one they knew would see them. But their troubles were far from over. At some houses, they were surprised with tricks instead of treats. At other houses, the treats were weird or awful. Soon their bags were full of candy with names like broccoli chews, sweet and sauerkraut, and eggplant fizzlers. "I can't believe this is happening," Wendell grumbled. At that moment, a screech of laughter came from down the block. Floyd peered through his spyglass and groaned. "It's Liana Fleabish and her nasty friends." "Not them," Mona squeaked. "They're the worst." "We'd better run for it," cried Wendell. Floyd led them down a hidden path through the woods behind the old Dreidel house. But soon Liana's jeering voice rang out, "We see you! You can't hide!" The chase was on. Finally, out of breath, they tried to slip behind some trash cans at the end of a narrow alley. But Floyd ducked a moment too late, and Alice's rabbit ears gave them away. Liana squealed with delight. "Yo ho ho, I see something funny. It's Pirate Floyd and his baby bunny." The witches roared with laughter and slapped each other on the back. Floyd winced, but as he drew his saber, his face lit up with a pirate's grin. First he kept the witches at bay, so his friends could carry little Alice to safety. Then, growling like a movie pirate, he swung out of reach on an overhanging tree limb, turning a quick flip and somersaulted backward over the fence. Actually, the witches didn't mind the graveyard at all. "We see you, Wendell," Liana cried. "What's wrong with Wendell? Let me think. He must be mad because he's dressed in pink." The witches shrieked and hooted, laughing so hard they nearly cried. For a moment, Wendell's face turned as pink as his smock, but then an idea began to brew. He reached into his mad scientist kit and started mixing potions. "Drink this," he told his friends. "It will make us invisible." At the word invisible, the witches roared even louder, but their laughter turned to puzzled yelps when Wendell, Floyd, Mona, and Alice suddenly disappeared. By the time the potion were off, the children were several blocks away. Everywhere they turned, haunted houses creaked and moaned. "I've got a bad feeling about this," said Floyd. "Can you make us invisible again?" asked Mona. Wendell nodded, but when he opened his mad scientist kit, it was empty, and suddenly the witches were approaching. Before they could decide what to do, the witches were upon them. Liana crackled even louder. "Just look over there, you'll see something scary. It's Tinkerbell Mona dressed up like a fairy." The witches squealed and guffawed. They snorted and wheezed and rolled on the ground. Mona waited until the laughter died down. Then her eyes flashed, and suddenly so did her magic wand. "Now I've got a poke for you," she said, and pointed her wand straight at them. "Ibbity bibbity bobbity bode, Liana Fleabish, you're a toad." Instantly, a bolt of white light shot out from the wand, followed by a clap of thunder and a great puff of smoke. The next thing they knew, Wendell, Floyd, Mona, and Alice landed right back on the corner where their evening began. There wasn't a witch in sight, and their bags were filled with wonderful, ordinary candy. Wendell stared at Mona's wand. How did you do that? She just shrugged. You said anything could happen on Halloween. Later, they sit in Floyd's room, sorting the candy and sipping hot cocoa. You know, Floyd, said Wendell, you make a pretty good pirate. Thanks. You're a good mad scientist, too, even if you are a pig. But Mona was the best of all. She smiled. I guess being a fairy princess was okay. Still, I'm not sort of glad it's over. Now we can all get back to normal. After a while, Leona Fleabish even stopped being a toad. Happy Halloween!